Good morning, Lakeview Heights, and everybody else that's watching. It's good to be with you this morning. Chris.
Oh my goodness, Jeff, I'm going to just say you're having one of those days. But we've been working together now.
Three months.
Known each other for 10 years,
Yeah.
and that's okay. You know what? Half the church can't tell us apart. It's all good. It's all good.
Chris, I was focusing on you because last night you walked out of the building and you said, "I'm done." Can you tell us a little bit about what you're done with?
Not like that. Not like that.
It was an excited, "I'm done."
You just got some people really excited that we have less pastors to pay.
Well, they're just waiting with expectancy about what you're going to say.
Wow. No, so yesterday I'm in. Okay, I had a class yesterday. It was my ethics class, my Tuesday afternoon ethics class. And halfway through the class, it started early on, and then as we were ending, just like before 3:30, the prof was like, so we've got no class next week, no class the week after we just hand in a final assignment and a final exam and another final assignment. So that's awesome. Looking forward to that in the next 2 weeks.
Enjoy your April.
Yeah. And then he's like, and so this was our last class. And it's super anticlimactic, by the way. But I'll get to it, because that's kind of been the way this course has been all semester. This is so we signed off of Zoom, and I'm like, it just suddenly hit me. That was my last class. Not just of ethics, but of unless I bomb ethics and totally fail, then in which case maybe you should fire me. Oh, you're not an ethical pastor. But assuming I pass, then I graduate, and that's my last class. So that's what I'm done. I'm done taking classes for now. No, I'm just kidding.
Sheena's going, "No!"
That's right. Don't you dare! No, I'm kidding. Maybe. No, I am. So I don't have any more classes to take, which is just kind of weird. But probably what I need to do now is actually go back through what did we talk about each week, because this whole class has been a different style of teaching. So also what I had to do yesterday morning, because I'm like a month late on it, is submit a photo of me, a headshot, and a short bio. Writing bios is always weird. I almost wanted to be like, hey, find someone, can you write a bio for me?
We'll write it for you.
Yeah. if I get the little grad program and go, wait, that's not what I said. Anyways, so I did that. I sent that off in the morning. And where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So the course, what I did in reflecting on the bio was I realized it has taken 10 years. Right? So I always when I started, I joked with Sheena mostly just to scare her, actually to temper expectation, because I didn't want her thinking this would be quick. We sort of said, 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years, then we'll be done. And sure enough, 10. So whatever, boom. That's perfect. So I realized it's taken all that time. But also then I realized in all of those 10 years, of all the classes I've taken, none has been taught in the same style. There's different teaching modes, right? This is also the first time I had this teacher, just different styles. And so what happened was really weird. Halfway through the course, he made a comment in class one day about all the tools we had learned to date. And I went, we've been learning stuff? I'm like, oh no. So I still have to, before the exam in 2 weeks, go back and go, okay, what were the lessons? Because every time we just sort of log on to Zoom, and then he has a discussion question. We talk about it for an hour. And then we have another discussion, and we talk about it for an hour. And all this, and so it's felt like we just kind of like this with a teacher, who's kind of part of the circle. And it's of course there's almost 30 people in the class, 28 of us or whatever. So it's a big group, whatever. So it's now I'm at that point where it's a little bit I actually now have to figure out what I was supposed to learn, because it's a bit of an awkward week, kind of trying to sort out what were the lessons in all of that. I mean, I did the readings, we read tons of stuff, and I was at all the lectures and all of that, but so that's where I'm at with that. Yes, there's no more classes, but it I'm trying to figure out what did I learn.
Okay, so do you guys learn from discussion, or do you learn from all the desks facing this way and the lecturer just talking this way, nobody talking till I'm done?
Right. So he and he said this was it last week or I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a class last week. He said it then that like he threw one of those questions out for us and we all talk. And then
Which is
someone said,
difficult on
"And
Zoom."
what do you think?" And he says, "Well, I don't like to say that because then it usually shuts down the conversation."
Right.
So here's why it's challenging for me: is this is not my learning style.
Yeah.
Right? This is somebody else's learning style. I quite dislike this learning. No, I want the PowerPoint. There's not been a single PowerPoint. And I'm like, so, but what is it? Because I like to know, okay, well, this person thinks this and this person, but like, I'm learning what all these other classmates thinks. No offense to you, I don't care what you think. All right? I want to know, I paid my $1,200 to know what the prof thinks. But that's me. And I'm, I don't fit the mold of the modern education system,
Right.
which is more collaborative learning. I don't care about collaborative learning. I learn by doing, I learn by studying what masters have done. That's more my speed. I'm old, okay? Fine. But anyway,
You want your ducks in a row.
That's right.
And you don't want to have to figure out,
And I'm okay to
I
go,
don't-
this duck thinks this, and this duck thinks this, and this duck thinks this.
But they
What
don't
do
matter, just-
I think?
Yeah.
So bringing several perspectives, which he kind of did in the readings, right? We have reading from this person and this person. That's fine. That's great. But then we're going to have like, yesterday we had our last discussion of the day was on racism. And it's like, okay, I think I know what the Bible says about racism. I'm quite confident I know that. Spoiler alert, it's not okay. Right? So I understand. Some people learn by talking and expressing their opinion. And that's how they learn. So I have to try and make room for that.
But I don't think it's an old style. Like, I think you're old, but I think it's actually just that personality type that says,
Yeah.
how do you work your way through something? Some people kind of do it like this, and
Yeah.
almost like juggling all these different things. It's almost like, how do you organize your office, or how do you organize, your clothes in your drawer or something like that, right? I put stuff where it fits quite often, but a lot of people would say, no, socks go top left,
Yeah.
Underwear top right, t-shirts, pants, shorts, done, right?
Yeah.
And there's no deviation from that.
It's interesting you bring that topic up because Sheena has been studying how people organize stuff.
Really?
And then she's like, oh, finally, we've been married almost 15 years. She's like, oh, finally your organization system makes sense to me. She's like, she's like, you organize by having everything visible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, me
She's
too.
like, I thought you were just a slob. That's an organization. She didn't say that. She
No, but
didn't say slob.
no,
I
but
gotta be
it's-
careful. I'm exaggerating what she said. She said, you organize by having everything just out in the open.
If you put it away, in my mind, it's lost.
It's gone forever. I gotta buy a new one.
Yeah.
Is that I know this is stereotypical, so I don't, but is that generalized, like, are males kind of geared more to that? Because I'm more, like, my wife has been trying to organize me, help me organize, and it's so hard.
Because I know a lot of other males who
Yeah,
would
you're right.
think
Yeah.
in those linear terms
So it's
as
just
well, too.
us, okay.
No.
Yeah, I'm sure there are ladies out there who organize the way I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
With just
yeah.
leaving it all out
So
there.
it's just
I
personality.
have a suspicion that I'm related to one, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know what other organization styles there are, other than we bought a house where everything was labeled. And like, we opened the cupboards, they were empty, but all the labels were behind and and so I'm sure that person who had that, they were a super detailed, organized person. I would have no cupboard doors if it was up to me. Like if you look in the youth storage closet, right? I love clear bins for organizing because I can see, oh, this is what's in there. Or, oh, empty space, let's shove this in there, right? And then I'll be able to see, oh, that's in there.
Yeah, empty space on the floor is like you're already planning, a Tetris game there for later.
Oh, that's
Right.
funny. I like this book because Cheryl and I have struggled on how to organize because we just think so differently. I love it. So what I've done is she knows how to organize, just give it to her and she'll take care of it, and ask her when I know, and she hates that because she's like, well, Jeff, just go get it. But I don't know where you put it,
100%.
So I'm a mess. I didn't think I was a mess. I always thought I was organized. So this might be a good book for me to read to figure out how to organize myself.
There have been there have been times in my marriage where I thought I was being super helpful by organizing a cupboard or tidying something up, and it turns out not to be as helpful as I thought it would be, right? Because then I have a problem also of putting stuff away and then absolutely forgetting where it is. I guess that's maybe part of my organization style. It's not.
Well, it wasn't in sight, right?
It's not a default. It's just it's a way it is. But then I forget where it is, and I'm like, no, I put it somewhere super logical, super helpful, which in the minute was very logical.
Yep.
But can I recall where that is? No, it's out of sight.
I feel like we're actually on our way to Michael McIntyre's man drawer. Have you heard about that one?
No.
Where he'll say, the man drawer is the place. We have half-dead batteries. We don't know where to put it. It doesn't go anyplace. Well, there's one drawer that just kind of was empty, so you just put it in the thing.
Yeah.
And then there's like manuals for your microwave or something like that. You don't want to throw that out, or money from Zimbabwe when you went there on a trip, 12 years ago.
Right.
We might go back there. You don't want to throw that out. That's still good. That goes into the man drawer, and then you get all this random stuff into that. But at least you have that one spot that's just for the randomness.
But that's not one spot. That's like 5 boxes for me.
Well, and that's just what I was going to say. I'm like, if that's the case, I have my man basket, and then that filled up, and Sheena bought me a new man basket. There's my man pile where
man cave and a garage.
So, and I am totally confident there are some ladies out there who, and comment, let us know that we're not alone, that have their own, like, it's not just a man thing.
It's the junk drawer.
It's the junk drawer. Right? I'm sure there's some people who have. The problem is actually.
I prefer man drawer.
You prefer man drawer, that's fine. But there'll be some ladies who are feeling very excluded because that's their organization style. Yeah. And so it's probably not gender specific.
No.
But
every person is so unique.
Yeah. So anyway.
Interesting. So thank you. Any other highlights from the course? That you stand out right now?
No, I will say that right now, just because it's one of those things. So I had a project due last night, which I got in at 10:30. That's awesome. Just the wire, I think, because that's 11:30 Alberta time. So I had like a 29-minute buffer. Yeah, that's perfect. 29-minute buffer. Yeah. So we're all good. But because it was like, no, that was that. Got to get that project in. Again, we've been taking like 12 Tuesdays of courses. They're all just a little bit of a blur right now. You kind of need to unpack that box, if you will. Speaking of organizing, it's not all out in front of me, and unless it's all out in front of me, I don't remember what was in that course. And so that's what I need to do now in preparation for the final projects and the exam. Is go, okay, so what did we talk about? And then as I look into it, I go, oh yeah, I remember that, and I remember that, and I remember that, and it'll all come together. But it's just that final stage before. So to say, I can tell you what we talked about yesterday. That's because it's fresh. But you want me to go back to February? I don't know. It's a blur.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll hear more later.
Maybe.
Well, we're excited for you that your last class is done. You have a couple more assignments. Be praying for him as he finishes up all these assignments before the end of April.
Well, the focus feels a little on me unfairly because it's just the platform. Sheena and I were talking on Monday about who is graduating in our church this year, because it's coming into grad season, right? Yeah. And really, normally we would have a Sunday where we would highlight grads. We might still yet, but this is a weird year because we have 2 grads in our church with master's degrees, 1 from university and 1 from high school.
Wow.
So only 25% of our church's grad class, if you will, is high school, right? And the rest is post-secondary, you know, like that's pretty...
That's exciting.
That's kind of fun. Like that's just, it's a unique, I think we can say unique kind of year for that. We've almost always had someone in the church graduating with something that isn't high school. You know, like whether it is a master's or a, you know, just taking some sort of a college program. So there's usually someone in that category, but this year to have it so outnumber high school is just a little. So that's all to say. Hey, be praying for all the grads as they finish up their programs there, and we'll have to talk about how we're going to honor those other people because I've certainly had more than enough time talking about myself, but give them a chance to talk about what they're doing next and what their future looks like, and next year.
Let us know if you're graduating and we don't know about it yet.
Yeah, in case we're, I don't even know, you know what, I'm going to get, before I start like spilling tea on people and naming names, I'll get some permission to share before we start saying all that, but
Yeah, but definitely let us know. So that's something you finished. Kevin, you're looking forward to something you wanted to share a little bit about. What's that?
Yeah, it's you know, now that the year is well underway, even though I saw a meme the other day that said, you know, like in my brain 1970 was 30 years ago, 1990 is 10 years ago, 2005 is 12 years ago, 2015 is 3 years ago, 2020 feels like 10 years ago, right? And like, you don't even know. So anyways, my brain right now still is kind of a little bit in January, even though we just finished Easter. So quite often, you know, for me, the ramp kind of starts in January and then it goes up to Easter, and then it's kind of like, okay, now we rework kind of thing. So I'm kind of in that zone. And so now, for me, there's stuff coming, Mother's Day and stuff like that. But the next thing also is my sabbatical, which is coming in June and July. And so from January to now, we've also been working with some of our teams to get them more trained in some of the areas that I'm involved in worship and other areas. And so just more of that, like just kind of more handing off and saying, okay, do you feel confident in this? And if you don't, then let's work on that. So that's kind of what this time period for me now is just working with the people that are doing a lot of this stuff and helping them feel confident and empowering them to also say, okay, if I don't know something, how am I going to get over that? Well, maybe I need to research it. Maybe it's going to take some personal time to work through some stuff and to challenge yourself to grow. And I think that's actually a good, important thing for us to be working through in all areas of life till the day we die. You know, if I stop learning, then I think, you know, I'm done.
And as much as going to class is important, we don't have to go to class to learn, right?
Well, no. And the irony, not the irony, the words are failing me today. The truth of it is, you're never only learning one thing.
Yeah.
Right? So if I think, I'm doing just an ethics class, that's as much as my brain would love to compartmentalize just to that there's so much else going on in life that requires learning and growth points. So,
and it's interesting how if you would have taken that class 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you would have learned different stuff out of it maybe, or approached it different, or come away different. Like a book will hit you at a certain time in your life maybe, It is interesting,
I wonder though, maybe just the worship team can all get together and just talk about what they think would be a solution to the problem. You know, you can just sort of lob a question out there.
Hey, no, there's some teachers that love that learning style.
Here's my worship PowerPoint.
Do it this way.
Yeah. Sorry, but have them all blank so that the rest of the class can fill them in. And they're like, what do you think would be
So just before I go on sabbatical, I'll say, okay, so tell me everything that you've learned so far.
Yeah, that's right. Big exam.
No, and like the weirdness of it as well too is that like because it's in the summer, we're also making plans. So we're looking at like a family camp, and we're looking at some camping and stuff like that. For June, I'm actually looking at a lot more kind of rest and renewal, but we're looking at family stuff, but we also have to take all that and kind of hold it a little bit loosely too, because we're talking about camps, and you know, we have numbers going up and down, and we have vaccines being rolled out, and you know, talking about different areas of BC and stuff like that. So it's going to be tricky either way, and we're going to have to still work through that, but yeah, it's coming together.
Are you getting excited?
Not yet. There's still lots to do between now and then, and I'm excited to grow in the silence, but I also at the same time, like, because I'm in a routine right now, I also have to be careful that doesn't become just like nothingness, right? So I still have to create a restful routine for that time as well. So it's going to take some thinking and planning in that as well too. So.
Wow.
How about Jeff?
Yeah. For me, I didn't just finish something or I'm not really planning something big like that, but in the routine of life, one of my sons and I have been going out mountain biking a little bit behind our house, and we don't have great bikes, so we're kind of, because the suspension isn't great.
There's another way of doing it?
Oh man, you can.
I bought my mountain bike back when I was in high school, and I've been riding it hard ever since.
I've ridden a bike, I borrowed a bike that has full suspension. It's amazing, just smooth, and you can jump and just, land. Yeah. So I told my son, I said, if we love this, maybe we can talk the financier of the family. I'm putting her under the bus. She's on board with me, but we just don't want to invest in something that we're not going to use. So if we're doing it and we're loving it, maybe we can figure out a way to make some better bikes work.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, but I've really loved just being out with him, and we're kind of exploring. We got tons of bike paths right by our house. So,
Would you still be getting rain in Chilliwack right now?
Supposedly we talked to some friends earlier this week, and they said that it was supposed to be raining all week. So I did look at the weather for Kelowna, and it did show raindrops, but then I looked at like 40%. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, 40% is like,
Yeah.
it may be somewhere in the city there'll be a little bit of precipitation, but not likely where you are.
Yeah.
So, but you never know.
So I walked this morning.
Yeah.
It showed 40% rain, and I was like, I'm just good. So I walked this morning, and of course it will rain because I got to walk home. But yeah, it's life's good for us too. Just a reminder that Sunday evening we have our prayer meeting again, 6:30. That link will go out on Friday with the bulletin.
Yep.
I think other than that, there's nothing really.
We do also in the morning have our kids ministry. We'll do our kids ministry call in the morning, and again, link for that will go out with the bulletin. So if you fit in the zone for either of those, you want to be part of prayer, or you got kids that want to be part of the kids thing, or you're a teacher and want to be part of the kids thing, join us, and it'd be great.
And that's at 9.
That's at 9 o'clock. Yeah. So what we do, the format we're kind of doing, we've done a few times now, is we'll come together at 9, kind of catch up with everyone. It's actually been a month. We missed our last one. So we'll just sort of catch up a little bit. Maybe we might play a little game together, some kind of a get to know you sort of thing, or something like that. We'll do kind of an activity, and then we'll watch the lesson video together. And that way we all get to see it. And then usually I've got like a discussion question to kind of engage with it a little bit. So
great.
That's the plan. 45 minutes goes super fast, especially if 20 minutes of that is the lesson video, but it goes super fast. So, but it's awesome. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
The kids we've been able to get together with and just touch base with, and get a little window into their world. So yeah, it's good.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great.
So that's Sunday morning at 9, regular service at 10, and then prayer at 6:30.
Yeah, nice full day of connection.
Yeah.
Of seeing some people and chatting. So it's good.
Yeah. Well, have a great day. Thanks for being with us. God bless you.